Hello everyone, I'm Michaela Kathleen, and today I'm doing the TBR tag. Since it's January, I thought it was about time for another TBR tour, but I like to change it up, so I thought this time I would do the TBR tag. So jumping right in, the first prompt is, how do you keep track of your TBR? And basically I just have a physical TBR that is sitting here on my TBR cart and over there in my closet, and I just pull the books in order off the TBR when it's time to read them, and that's how I keep track. Prompt number 2 is, do you mostly have print books or ebooks on your TBR? And I exclusively have print books on my TBR. I have so many that I have like 2 years worth sitting here, so I just don't have the capacity to have a digital TBR. And that's just not how I prefer to read anyways. Prompt number 3 is, how do you pick what you're going to read next? And as I mentioned, I kind of just pull in order off of my TBR. Sometimes I will mix it up. For example, in January I read The Lovely War, which was still deep down near the bottom of my TBR, even though I've had it since Christmas last year. And yeah, I looked at the books that I got for Christmas last year and I was like, I have not read enough of these, and I was also just really excited for Lovely War. It was a 5-star prediction, so I was like, I'm gonna pull this one for January. But most of the time I go in order, and for that I do have a system of what my order is. So I have 4 different categories of books that I read. Books that are kind of more fun books, which is here at the top of the TBR cart, and then like more serious books, which are over here, and then of course series, which I keep over here. And then over there I actually have a little shelf of rereads, because I do like to reread books. And so yeah, I just kind of cycle through that and then go in order for each one. So I'll do a fun read, then a series, then a serious read, then a reread, back to a fun read. So moving on from my slightly complicated reading cycle, prompt number 4 is, what book has been on your TBR the longest? And I don't know for sure, because I don't keep track of like when I get books, but going based on just the fact that it's closest to being read, which means it should have been on the TBR near the longest. And also this one, I do actually remember when I got it. One of the longest books on my TBR, I think, is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, which I got this, not this last Christmas, but the Christmas before with a gift card, I'm pretty sure. And so yeah, this is one of the books that has been on my TBR the longest. And so then prompt number 5 is, what is the most recent book that you've added to your TBR? And that is an easy one for me. That would be Lion by Suru Brearley, which I just got from a free little library a week ago, because despite the fact that my TBR is 2 years long, I just can't stop. Prompt number 6 is, what book is on your TBR just because of the beautiful cover? And for me, that is Autobiography by Christina Lauren. This one I was eyeing in the bookstore for years, and then I got it again, I think about 2 Christmases ago, with a gift card. And yeah, I just picked it up. I was like, I'm finally gonna get this book with the beautiful cover. And I was like halfway to the register when I was like, maybe I should actually read the back cover and see what this book is about. Luckily, the description does sound interesting, and I think it has a good chance of being a book that I will like. But yeah, truly, when I picked it up just based on the really pretty cover. Prompt number 7 is, what is a book on your TBR that you never intend to read? Which at first I thought this would be a difficult question, because typically if I get a book, I'm wanting to read it, so I'm planning to read all the books on my TBR. But since I did start getting books out of free little libraries and stuff, there have been times where I've just picked up a book on a whim, and then when I got it home and looked at it more closely, I realized it was like a companion novel or a part of a series or whatever. Just basically once I looked at it closer, I was like, maybe I'm not actually interested in this. And then it just immediately goes on to my unhaul pile. So one book that is still sitting on my unhaul pile that I have not read is The Best Awful by Carrie Fisher. This was in a free little library. I picked it up because it said Carrie Fisher, but it turns out to be a companion novel, and so I just don't think I'll get around to it, and I put it on the unhaul pile because I didn't really want to read a book that is not the first in a series, although usually companion novels you can read without reading the first one. I just don't like to. And as I've mentioned several times already, my TBR is so long that sometimes when there are books that, you know, aren't quite what I was expecting, I just end up thinking I don't want to take the time down the road to have to read this. So yes, this is a book that landed on my TBR for a little while and then ended up in the unhaul pile because it wasn't what I thought. Prompt number 8 is, what is an unpublished book on your TBR that you are excited for? And I don't really have one. Again, TBR is very long, so I don't really look forward to books that are going to be published. I'm more focused on the things that are already on my TBR. There are some authors that I follow all their releases and will usually get them pretty quickly, but not a lot, and as far as I know, none of them are coming out with anything soon. Prompt number 9 is, what is a book on your TBR that everyone has read? And for me, that is A Little Life. This was another free little library find, and I really only picked it up because I've heard everyone on BookTube talking about it. This isn't exactly in my wheelhouse. I probably wouldn't have picked it up if I saw it in a free little library and didn't already know about it because of BookTube. But yeah, everyone has read this, and I will too someday. Prompt number 10 is, what is a book on your TBR that everyone recommends to you? And I don't really have a lot of people in my life that recommend books to me. I don't know a lot of big readers. I mostly just get recommendations from my coworker. And so one of the books on my TBR that is on my TBR because she recommended it to me is Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone. I put this one on my Christmas list a couple years ago because my coworker recommended it to me, and this Christmas I finally got it. Prompt number 11 is, what is a book on your TBR that you are dying to read? And one of my most exciting books that's coming up somewhat soon is Leviathan by Scott Westerfeld. Scott Westerfeld is one of my favorite authors of all time. I think this steampunk feeling series will be super cool and interesting, so I'm really excited for this one. I'm sure it will be action-packed. I love Scott Westerfeld's writing style for action. And finally, prompt number 12 is, how many books are on your TBR? Which, not including my rereads, and including some series where I don't have the full set yet, but I'm planning to read the full series. In other words, this is kind of a guesstimate number. I have about 72 books on my TBR, which I read about 45 books a year. So yeah, my TBR is about 2 years long. No concerns here, right? But yeah, that was the final prompt on the TBR tag. I hope you enjoyed watching. Let me know down below some exciting books on your TBR, or if your TBR is stressing you out. And now onto the quote for today's video, which today I have one from Ursula K. Le Guin, and it goes, "There have been great societies that did not use the wheel, but there have been no societies that did not tell stories." Thanks for watching. Remember, words matter.